scholar, the person that you trust him, look to this, you trust him in his deen and in his ilm. Two things, in his deen and his ilm. If you trust him in these two things, then follow him. Okay, that's the most important part. But do not follow your desires. So if you want some specific fiqh problem, you want someone to say to you, music is halal. So you're going to some faqih or some alim and you say, he is saying this is halal, for example. But actually you are trusting in this scholar. He's saying music is not halal, for example. Then you should follow him in this case also. So that's the point, that if you trust someone in his deen and in his ilm, then we call it ibra'u dhimma, that you are going to be freed on the day of judgment for anything that you are doing, even though it is not right. I mean that if, for example, you trust in the person or a scholar saying that ghina and music is halal, you trust him. I mean sincerely you trust him. Not because of the desire. Sincerely you trust him, then it's okay for you. And if there is any wrong, then he will take it. But actually if he is a mujtahid, if he is sincerely found that musiqa or ghina and so on, it's halal, for example, okay, Allah will reward him one reward. So it's settled. The point is here. Okay, استفتي قلبك ولو أفتاك الناس وأفتوك. So ask your heart in the first place about who is the right person. Sometimes it happens, you have 3 different scholars. You trust them. But actually, they are good in deen, they are good in ilm. But actually, their opinions are totally different. They are totally different. What should you do? The ulama, they mention 3 different categories. The first one, between them, if you feel that this person is more educated and so on than the other, then you can follow. If it's not, all of them are the same, for example, look to the evidences. If you have some judgment on the evidences. If you are totally ignorant person, you do not know the evidences and so on, then you should go with the easiest one. The easiest one. This is very important. Why it's the easiest one? Because this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did. Sayyidah Aisha mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ما كان يخير في أمر إلا اختار أيسرهما. Whenever there are 2 things, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam follow the easiest one. ما لم يكن إثما. The only obligation, the only restriction that it is not sinful action. But if it's permissible, then he choose the easiest one. Okay? That's the...
Hazrat Umar Razillahu Ta'ala, once a non-believer came to Hazrat Umar Razillahu Ta'ala and said to him that your prophet says that this world is a heaven, Jannah, for non-believers. But look at me, I'm in a shabby place, or I'm in a shabby state or dusty state. So, but it is a cage for you. Umar said that compared to the destination of non-believers in the hereafter, this is Jannah for them, this world.
Yes, Allah.
They are saved from that hellfire.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, this reminds me with one quote of the alim. He was mentioning about this. He was saying that أحوال أهل الدنيا متقاربة وأحوال أهل الآخرة متباعدة. That the status of the people in dunya are so close, and the status of the people of the day of judgment are so distant. Means what? In the dunya, you think that the people who are driving the fancy car and they are living in a nicer or a nice neighborhood and wide places and they having the gold you think that they are having a life better than you. But wallahi abadan. No, this is not right. This is not right at all. Why? Because we are in the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember, subhanallah, in dunya you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to every one of us, all the people, the same amount of delight and what I can say, enjoy. For example, let me give an example. Look to for example, the sleep. Okay? If you are really tired and you want to sleep, even that you can sleep on the sand or the dust or something, and you will enjoy the sleep, right? If you want, for example, to eat, some person can go to whatever the type of restaurant, which is by thousands of dollars, and if you are so hungry and you found something that is very, what is the cheapest food in Pakistan?
Dal roti.
Dal roti?
Yes,
If you eat it, and you eat until you have this kind of shiba, means that you are full, what is the enjoy that you are going to feel? It is the same, as if the person is, so the level of enjoyment in dunya, wallahi, it's the same. We are making the differences. So we are thinking that the person who is using the car, Mercedes for example, and you are using your bicycle for example, this is different. No, this is not the difference. The difference that you are making it. You are making it in your mind. So in al-akhirah, no. In al-akhirah, totally different. The people in Jannah are totally different than the people of the hellfire. Okay? So this is why أحوال أهل الدنيا متقاربة. Do not think too much about dunya, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided everything that you want in dunya. Even the most enjoyable moments that you live. Okay? Look to this, and this is actually what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, even for the sexual intercourse. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided spouses for you. This is halal, and you are going to be rewarded if you make the sexual intercourse with your spouse. Look to the people who are making it with a sinful action. The same enjoyment here, if we say, and the same enjoyment here. But the point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward it here and is going to hold you accountable for this. Everything in dunya, the real life in dunya, that's the point. The real enjoyment in dunya, those who are living with the book of Allah and with the mercy and obedience of Allah. This is the real sweetness. Do you remember in one Jum'ah maybe or one lecture I said the sweetness of Iman? And this sweetness of Iman, if you could put yourself in this level, you're going to find that it's incomparable. There is nothing comparable to it. Because you are going to elevate yourself. And this is what Ibn al-Qayyim, he was mentioning in one of the hadith, one of his book and so on. That the enjoyment of the believer, whenever he is in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is incomparable with any kind of pleasure that you could lead. This is why we said, dunya now is emphasizing on the tangible pleasures. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran is always emphasizing on the intangible pleasures, which is eternal. Okay, it's 8:23. I think that we have talked a lot today, and we haven't. So I think that the last time is dedicated for this recitation of the surah and rectifying the read of this one. You can't stop it now. Actually.